Book haul, book haul, book haul. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to my second channel. Welcome back to Jack in the Books. Today I wanted to tell you about some books that I have acquired recently. Starting with this one, this is When Haru Was Here by my bestie, Dustin Tao. Feeling like a very, very proud friend right now. He gave me this advanced copy of his book, and if we take a little peek at the back, I'm in the acknowledgements! This is one of the sweetest things ever. I will be bragging about my friend, I hope that's okay, for the foreseeable future, but this is such an achievement, and he writes these incredible, I would describe them as kind of like magical realism books, whereby they are rooted in the real world. They're not rooted in like a fantasy land. You know, it's not high fantasy, it's kind of light fantasy where there are fantastical elements. So for example, in his first book, You've Reached Sam, we have a girl called Julie whose boyfriend Sam has died, and in trying to cope with her grief, she calls him and he picks up. She gets to kind of continue communicating with him even though he has died. And that helps her to kind of process her grief. And then in this book, we have a character called Eric who is kind of creating imaginary situations in his head. And then one of the situations he imagines is this boy called Haru. And one time he's sitting in a coffee shop and Haru walks in and sits down next to him, but only he can see Haru. So I really love these concepts. And I think that these fantastical elements bring out the humanity in these characters. So, congrats Dustin, I'm so excited about this one. I also just got sent this book, it's called Beaming, it just arrived literally late last night, and it's kind of a book of like affirmations and reminders, I guess, about staying positive and believing that everything happens for a reason and that life is moving at the pace it's supposed to. I feel like I think this would be a really good gift. I think a lot of people would find a lot of comfort in a book like this. It's called Beaming. I've never really been one for affirmations and stuff. I do think I believe somewhat in manifestation, in that I believe that if you always have your goals in mind, then you'll be making actions every day to get closer to them. So you'll be taking the right steps, I suppose. So yeah, I'm intrigued to learn more about that kind of thing. And then all of these books arrived as well because I'm going to be a judge for this year's TikTok Book Awards in the British and Irish Best Fiction category, and this is the long list. So firstly, the books that I've already read, because there were a couple. I've read 3 of them so far, but actually I listened to this one as an audiobook, so I'm very grateful to now have a physical copy of this book. This is The Rachel Incident. I don't want to tell you my opinions on these books just yet. I will obviously in the future, but while I'm still judging the prize, I don't think it's really fair to share what I thought of these individual books just yet. I mean, the award is on July 25th. And I think you can vote in the TikTok app from July 1st. So I'll be able to share my opinions on these books very, very soon. But in the meantime, this is The Rachel Incident. It's about these 2 roommates and the people that they date and the kind of messy situations that they get themselves into and messy dynamics where people are like cheating on their partners, etc. Like these people get embroiled in all sorts of drama, but it's very, very funny and witty and quick. And then you have Small Worlds by Caleb Azuma Nelson. This book reads like a song in the sense that there are almost choruses and verses and refrains. I've never read a book quite like this. It's kind of an ode to London and youth and also to music. He's a jazz player. A really, really interesting writing style. That is Small Worlds by Caleb Azuma Nelson. We also have Dolly Alderton with Good Material. This is about a comedian who has just broken up with his wife-to-be. And so we kind of hear about this man working out what his life looks like without her in it and getting himself again into all kinds of scrapes and difficult situations and adjusting to his new life without the person he's kind of committed a lot of the past years to. And that is Good Material by Dolly Alderton. And then I also have these books which I have not yet read. Whoops. Sorry, in these videos I'm always like throwing books around by accident. I am so perpetually clumsy. But before I jump into these, I just wanted to let you know that today's video is very kindly brought to you by Squarespace. And Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building your website or online brand. You don't need to be an expert coder, a professional web developer to use Squarespace. They have tons of incredible templates, like literally hundreds of templates that you can look at and use as a starting point, as a launch pad to customize and make something that is completely unique and your own. I'm using Squarespace right now to build a kind of portfolio website, and I'm finding it so straightforward and easy. It can do everything I need it to do. For example, you can use Squarespace to create a blog, a newsletter sign up. It also now has AI SEO, meaning that your website can be discovered. It will give you the key buzzwords that people will be searching when trying to find you, and half of the battle is appearing on search engines when people are kind of looking up what they need. So that is a huge win. Also, if you're a business and you have customers who need to use your online store, Squarespace also allows for flexible payment. So really and truly, everything you need is in one place, and that place is Squarespace. So if that all sounds good to you, you can actually head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch your beautiful new website or online brand, you can use the code JackInTheBooks at squarespace.com/JackInTheBooks to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So thank you so much to Squarespace. And now, these books right here. So this one is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. When a famous podcaster interviews a stranger promising to divulge the story of a lifetime, secrets emerge that threaten to expose the truth of their lives they've both worked hard to project and protect. Interesting. I've actually never read a Lisa Jewell book, so I'm excited to read my first. We also have Wildfire, which is one of the sequels to Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I think it's in that same universe, right? At a party celebrating the end of the academic year, Maple Hill students Russ Callaghan and Aurora Roberts have a passionate one-night stand. Never one to overstay her welcome or expect much from a man, Aurora slips away before Ross even has a chance to ask for her full name. Days later, they run into each other in their new jobs as summer camp counselors, hoping to escape their complicated home lives. That is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Next, this book has been on my radar for a very long time. So many of you have told me, Jack, you need to read this. This is Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. It's been hundreds of years since King Arthur's reign. His descendant Arthur, a future lord, is betrothed to Gwendolen, the quick-witted, short-tempered princess of England since birth. The only thing they can agree on is that they despise each other. They're forced to spend the summer together at Camelot in the run-up to their nuptials, and within 24 hours, Gwen has discovered Arthur kissing a boy, and Arthur has gone digging for Gwen's childhood diary and found confessions of her crush on the kingdom's only lady knight, Bridget. I see. That is really interesting. This is by Lex Croucher, and it's described by Casey McQuiston, who we love, as a total rollicking delight. So there we go, Gwen and Art are not in love. I feel like we're gonna get some fake dating sort of situation going on here. And it seems like maybe enemies to lovers too. Or enemies to friends, not lovers, but yeah, you get what I mean. Like they will go from being enemies to actually kind of helping each other out. So that is Gwen and Art are not in love. Next we have Feybound. This is by Shara El Arifi. Two elven sisters become imprisoned in the intoxicating world of the Fae, where danger and love lie in wait. Feybound is the first book in an enchanting new trilogy from the Sunday Times best-selling author of The Final Strife. So I'm looking forward to reading all of those books and getting to be in my judging head and have my judging hat on, you know? It's gonna be interesting because, of course, judging for a prize is different to just reviewing books for personal consumption. Because when you're judging a book prize, you're judging them like based on their genre and in comparison to one another, how much they achieve in their given genre. It's not about how much I enjoy the book, it's about how successful the book is in executing the author's intent. So I'm excited to kind of put that side of my brain into good use, and we'll see who comes out on top. And then the final book that just came in the post like in the last week is Famous People, which is a book by the same guy who wrote Challenges. They are a very successful couple. You have Justin, who wrote Challenges, and Celine, who wrote Past Lives. Imagine the conversations going on in that house. Imagine the conversations at that dinner table. Oh my God, I would kill to be a fly on that wall. And I think this is kind of like a Justin Bieber retelling, this book. It's about a mega famous pop star, a fresh smart novel in the guise of a celebrity memoir. So I think it's kind of telling the story of someone who gets famous online and then becomes a very famous musician. So it's very Justin Bieber coded, but I'm very intrigued by this, and I really liked the writing of Challenges. So it did make me want to play tennis all the time. So is this gonna make me want to be a pop star? Maybe. Or maybe it'll do the exact opposite and make me absolutely not want to be a pop star, because I'm sure it's gonna be a little about the darker sides of fame. So yeah, I was kind of intrigued by this one, and it seemed to be a little lesser known project of the writer of Challenges. So I was like, I really want to read this. And that, my friends, is my collection of books that have, wow, a surprising weight to them. This was surprisingly heavy. These are some books that I'm excited to read. And this has been a good old-fashioned book haul. I feel like I haven't posted a book haul in the longest time. So thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.